Hi, I'm Farmer Gil.
And I'm Farmer Chris. Today we're talking with New Jersey Assemblywoman Andrea Katz.
From stay-at-home mom to state leader, Andrea brings a bold, experience-driven approach to governance.
We talk about how laws get made, her support for farmers, and why real-life experience matters in government. This is Johnson's Corner
Farmcast. Farmer Gil.
And Farmer Chris.
And we have a really exciting guest today.
Yes, very special guest.
A lot of times we talk to farmers. This person is not a farmer. Do you have a garden at your house?
I do. I like to say I'm a farmer.
Okay.
Patrick says I'm not.
All right. Well, I guess
You're a
you're kind of a farmer. So we have Andrea Katz here today. Andrea, why don't you tell us who you are? Why are we talking to you today?
Well, I'm Andrea, and you're talking to me because I'm a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would say so.
But also, I have the pleasure of being the Assemblywoman representing the legislative district.
All right. Cool.
So
yeah.
I think that's a good place to start because a lot of people probably don't know what an assemblywoman does. So I don't know much either. Can you fill us in on that?
Yeah, so I think the easiest way to say it is like the state version of the House.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
we have three chambers of government, three branches of government like the feds do. And in the legislative branch, we're a bicameral legislature, the upper chamber and the lower chamber. I am in the lower chamber, the assembly, which is the state version of the House.
Gotcha. So you represent your constituents in one of the districts of Burlington County.
It's parts of Burlington and Atlantic. It's
Gotcha.
a very, very, very large district. So I live in the northernmost part of the district in Chesterfield.
Mm-hmm.
I can get from my driveway to the State House parking garage, and I have clocked this 15 minutes door to door, not
Really?
desk to 15 minutes. But the district is so large and even encompasses parts of Atlantic County that it takes me close to an hour and a half to get down to Egg Harbor City and Folsom.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's
it is a
interesting.
very, very large, very diverse district.
And I would have just assumed that the districts were broken out by county,
No,
but they
not even.
cross over county
I
lines.
think that would make too much sense.
Yes.
If they all had clear dividing lines, but
Yeah.
But
Like if I came up with it, I probably would have just pockmarked them all over the place.
Well, it's every 10 years we do redistricting.
Okay.
So based on the census, districts
Gotcha.
are redrawn. So before 2023, when I won, Chesterfield was in the 12th legislative district.
okay.
So Chesterfield was put into the district as a part of the redistricting process the last cycle.
Interesting. So I feel like I have so many questions to ask you. Okay, so first off, this is your first term.
This is.
This is the first time have you held before you held this position, have you held any other like political positions?
Yeah, so I was, I started on local township. Well, first I started on a school board, but I was on local township committee as well. And I can tell you a little bit about how I started in that. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
a little unconventional.
The one question that's in my head is just like, why?
Well,
Like I know why people get involved, but like it just seems like so much in addition to everyday life. But
It
anyway,
is.
I'll let you
It
answer
is.
that. Yeah.
But once I tell you that, you have to understand this part of the story is 100% true. Hand to God, hand to
Okay.
God. In 2013, I had just moved to Chesterfield about a year before. I had lived in and around the area my whole life and had just moved to Chesterfield proper in 2012. So 2013, spring of 2013, I opened up my sample ballot on primary day, and there was no Democrat running. So there was only one Republican running in the primary. And so that meant that guy, I don't know who it was going to go through the primary and through the general and then be on the township committee in Chesterfield. And I didn't know who this guy was. I still don't even know who was on the ballot that year. But I thought we should have a conversation and a debate. Like, where do we want the town to go?
Yeah.
Elections are that time to have those hard conversations. So I did what any logical person would do in that moment. And I launched a write-in campaign that afternoon at 3:00.
No, so that very day, you just did it that very day.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was your first step in that?
Hey, so there's a primary today. Now keep in mind, we were in the 12th legislative district, which was not a competitive legislative district in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form. So there wasn't a primary. Like nobody even knew what a primary was really when you think about it for local office.
Yeah.
So I'm asking people outside of my kids' school at pickup at 3:00 in the afternoon to go
No.
write my name in for an election that had no real reason for anybody to show up to the polls. And so, oddly enough, I did not get on the ballot that year because I didn't meet the threshold, me and the one other person who went out and wrote me in. I think
So what'd you call that again? Like a write-in?
a write-in for the primary.
A write-in
yeah.
for the primary. So what that I'm trying to figure by what you said, that means like you just go around and say, write my name in?
Yeah.
What
yeah.
if they spell it wrong?
I mean, I didn't really think that
Yeah.
far that day, but I did not get
So
on the
you're
ballot
just
that
out
year.
there.
Yeah, just go write my name in. Just go. It's going to be
That's
fine.
awesome.
And then we're going to see if I can go into the general election and we'll have a debate and a conversation.
Wow.
But one step first, go write my name in.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So where does that boldness come from? Like you said, you were on the school board prior
Yeah.
to that.
no, that's how I started. That was literally
so
how I
that was-
started. Yeah.
So where'd that boldness come from? Is that's just who you are?
It's just who I am.
That is cool.
Like we should have a debate. We should have a conversation. And I'm just going to be the person to go and start that. Like,
That's awesome.
why not?
Yeah.
So I ran a real campaign in 2014, which was wild and crazy because nobody saw that one coming. And I was like, hey,
What does
I'm over
what
here.
does your kid? You have 3 kids.
I do.
Your kids and your husband, are they like, Mom, let's not? Or were they like, let's do this?
Well, my kids were little at the time. My youngest was only one.
Okay.
Yeah, she was little tiny. And even my oldest is 18, so they're 4 years apart.
Yeah.
So he was little. They've grown up with this.
Okay.
Is what they've always seen. And even when it gets stressful now, and I'm like, I can't take this, my kids are the first ones to say, Mom, keep going.
Oh, that's cool.
Even when the negative ads and their kids and their friends are seeing it,
Yeah.
they're like, no, just keep going, Mom.
That's
Keep going.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's wild. I have so much respect for that because I know I could not do that.
Yeah.
And that's cool that you're that passionate about it, because a lot of people, we see it now. It's like, people have no problem complaining about stuff one way or another.
Yeah.
Very few people will wait at the bus stop, you said, or the school.
In front of the school.
Yeah,
In
that's
front of the school, literally
They're
standing in
writing
front of
my
the
name
school. Yeah. So the next year we ran a real race.
So you gained experience kind of in the school board, so like what was that as you moved up through the school board and then into other public office? What did you just want to keep moving forward or?
A little bit, yeah. So I ran 2014. I didn't win.
Yeah.
2016, I ran again. But in 2015, there was a vacated school board seat.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never thought I would want to serve on a school board. I thought local government, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
When I went to college originally when I was 18, I thought I wanted to be an elementary school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to be in a school with very at-risk populations. Like if a police officer was escorting me into the building, that's where I wanted to be. I felt like those kids are the kids who needed me, who needed a person, right?
Mhm.
But I got to college and quickly went, oh my goodness gracious, that is not the superpower that I have. I cannot be in a room full of kids. Like that's not, I love kids, but
Yeah.
not my superpower. So I really didn't know what I wanted to do with myself for a long time. But when I got onto that, so the school board seat had vacated in Chesterfield,
Mm-hmm.
and I was encouraged to interview. But no. I tried that education route, not my
Yeah.
cup of tea. It's cool. But then I went and I interviewed, and the other person who was interviewing for the vacated seats didn't know the difference between a sending and a receiving district. So they went with me. But I fell in love with education advocacy.
Yeah.
So I ran for township committee again in 2016. I won. I was the highest vote getter on the ballot that year, even though Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton in Chesterfield. So that meant that people crossed
Yeah.
that line for me that first year, and I'm
Yeah.
very, very proud of that. But when I served on township committee, I realized how much I missed that school board, and I miss that advocacy for those kids.
Yeah.
And that's where I think my love of education that I found when I wanted to be a teacher was how can I help people? How
Yeah.
can I help kids? And then I realized that government was that path.
Yeah.
So
That's so neat.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so. It took you 3 years of
Yeah.
of campaigning and running to get your
Onto
first
township
position.
Well, I was 2 years for school board and then another year for township committee.
Very
Wow.
cool.
That's awesome. So the position you hold today,
Yeah.
assembly. Should we refer to you as Assemblywoman Katz?
Well, I mean, that's technically the title, but I'd prefer it if you would just call me Andrea.
So,
It's a long title.
Talk us
It really
through,
is, yeah.
like, what is a day in the life of an assemblywoman?
Oh, goodness.
Like, you guys go to Trenton.
Sometimes, yeah.
I'm sure you're all over the state. Like, what do you do? I mean, I know there's a lot. I'm not saying that
No, yeah.
like I don't think you do anything, but like I know you do a lot. I just think it's important for people to understand that I think a lot of what you do affects a lot of us
It
in our
really does.
district and in New Jersey on a day-to-day basis.
So every day is different, which I think is what I love about the job is that, I wake up in the morning and as much as I can see what my schedule looks like, it really usually means nothing by the time the phone rings the first time. So it's ever changing, which is what I like. But, this is a very close district. It's a very competitive district. So a lot of what I am forced to do, what I think I would do anyway, because this is why I love what I do, is talking to people and figuring out what I need to do to best represent my constituents. Patrick, hold your ears. Hold your ears, Patrick.
Patrick's over there.
Patrick
off camera.
is what is Patrick's title?
Patrick is my director of constituent relations.
All right, director.
He looks very
Director
cool, calm, and
Patrick.
collected
Close
right
your
now.
ears.
I really am not a full-time farmer, so he's celebrating that over there. So I don't know what your day-to-day life is like. It's incumbent upon me to come out and talk to you and ask what your day is like. I don't know what it's like to run a small business, so it's incumbent upon me to have a conversation with those folks. So it's taking all of that information and making sure that I'm going out and learning what I have to do to best represent my constituents.
Yeah, I think, the first time I met you was when Patrick contacted us to do this event here, and I'm like, politicians. Oh, boy, here we go. But I've known Patrick and his family forever, so yeah, I'll do him this favor. And I thought it was cool when you came out because that's you did exactly what you just said. You came out to hear what, we're going through as farmers. And I know, you've done a lot with other farmers, met a lot of farmers, and one of my buddies said, he's like, I think Andrea knows more about farming than we do at this point. Because she's at all the meetings, she's everywhere. I'm like, yeah, honestly, she probably does.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it because a lot of people, farming in New Jersey, and I think I've said this before, like we are the Garden State. We grow a lot of produce for a lot of people. Unfortunately, there's not as many farmers as there used to be. So, our voice, it's hard for us to get our voice out there because, we're not rolling up with thousands of us. There's really only hundreds of us left in the state, and it's hard for us to get our voices heard. So it's really cool when, people in positions like you seek us out. We didn't even seek you out. You came to us, and, it meant a lot for you to do that. And it's cool to see you continue to do that. But yeah, farming in New Jersey it's becoming increasingly difficult to do. And a lot of it has to do, with certain things with the government and whatnot. But I think, a lot of it is there's less of us. And so we just have to be louder.
Yeah.
And complain more. Farmers have no problem complaining.
No.
Well, no, but I think first of all, that's my job is to your microphone, is to take your voices and amplify it. But I don't think farmers are complainers by any stretch.
Thank
I
you.
will say this. I have 3 favorite constituency groups in no special order because I want you all to keep competing. Farmers, Girl Scouts, and dogs. I mean,
That's a
dogs are
great
awesome.
list.
Yeah. But,
I have 2 dogs at home. They are a pain in the butt.
okay,
have
well,
one
you
dog.
are slowly. Maybe you can get to like number 2 there. I mean,
Yeah.
dogs and farm.
Yeah.
You can like.
Your dogs are above the list.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. You haven't met my dogs.
So, yeah, Andrew, you were involved in passing a law regarding farm and farm equipment and
Yeah.
taxation.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved with that? Was that just from going out and visiting farmers and talking to people like you were just referring to?
Absolutely. So I hired Patrick. We just talked about him for a second.
You're getting a lot of airtime over there,
Pat,
Patrick.
we should have brought an extra microphone for you. We'll get him on camera at the end so our listeners know who this fictitious
You
character
can come in for
is.
the dance at the end.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, yes, I like that. I like that. No, but it was important. Large part of the district is agricultural, right? It's one of the largest economic drivers within the district. And so it was important to make sure that in my office, again, because I don't know what you do on a day-to-day basis. I know what you do, but I'm not going to, I need to have your perspective in my office. And so that's why it was so important for me to bring Patrick into the office. I sit on the agricultural committee, so I'm dealing with a lot of bills that come through that. And I want to have that person to be able to say, what do you think about this? Or is there something that I can do to be helpful? And it was Patrick's idea. And so I said, all right, cool. Like it's reasonable, but those are the types of bills that a tractor or a big piece of equipment was considered tax exempt.
Yes.
But that pickup truck that you still use on the farm every day was not. What's the difference?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I use my truck more than the tractor. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if that's a small way that we can help you, then let's do that. You're feeding us.
Yeah.
So let's find these things that we can be helpful.
Yeah.
So I know this is probably like the answer to this question is probably super long, but let's talk like a bill like that. How does that start? What is the process of it? How does it, what is your role in getting it through to the end?
Yeah, so my son's baseball team, I just had this lesson with them. They came in, they won states, so they got to come in for the last,
Awesome.
the last voting session. They got to come in and they were there. It was the budget session, so we didn't have a prompt start time. We did a little dilly-dallying, and so they were sitting around for a while. And as we all came out onto the floor, I grabbed the team and I said, I want you guys to watch what's happening here. See how everybody's talking? Because I can have the greatest idea in the whole wide world to solve all of the problems. But I cannot make that law without 3 magic numbers, 41, 21, 1. I need to convince 41 people in my chamber to vote for my bill. I need to go find a Senate sponsor and then find 21 people in the Senate to vote for that bill. And then I need to get the governor to sign. So it's a lot of people's skills. And so some bills are easier to build that consensus. Other bills are a little bit more challenging.
Yeah.
That's
so
what it takes
who
for a bill.
Who do you rely on for that? I mean, I'm sure like when you come up with a bill, there's probably another assembly person who agrees with you, maybe not, and then you guys just
start
get
talking
out
to
there?
people, and that's why building relationships and trust with your colleagues. I came out here over the summer, over the last fall, I guess it was, with some of my colleagues from all over the state.
It looks like you guys had a blast.
We did have an absolute blast, but brought down some of my friends from North Jersey all the way down here, some friends from Central Jersey to see the district. But also we need to build those relationships. Because then when I come to them with an idea for a bill, like, hey, I don't think our farmers should be paying sales tax on that pickup truck that they use every day. Those folks are going to believe that I've done my research. I'm a credible person.
Yeah.
They'll read the bill. They're going to, that's how it happens.
So you've said in other interviews or other spots that you legislate from your life experience. So can you just kind of double click on that? Where does that come from? Was that something you learned from another, or is that just something that came out of your life?
I'm me. Like, I am always me. There is no other version of me that you can get.
Yeah.
This is it. And so, I enjoy what I get to do. I think I'm not so bad at it, pretty good at it. I'll give myself a little credit here.
I think you should.
Yeah, and so I just continue to be me. And I legislate, like you said, from experience. My favorite bill, which I'm sorry, it doesn't have to do with farming, but I still think it's important in people's day-to-day lives.
The world doesn't totally revolve around us.
Well, technically it
Only
does, because
farming.
we couldn't live without you.
Yeah, right?
So,
Yeah.
but other than that, one little thing. My daughter has ADHD. We went to get her meds filled, and they didn't have her dosage. So they gave her a different dosage. The doctor called it in and got that all rectified. But as I was leaving the pharmacy that day, I said to the pharmacist, why can't you transfer that prescription from this pharmacy to another? Is that a federal law or a state law? And he looks at me and goes, I don't know. I'm like, all right, well,
I just can't do it.
yeah, that's it, right? So I said, then let's go figure it out. And I talked to my staff. It turns out the feds had loosened their restrictions around Schedule II drugs. Now it's up to us as a state how to regulate those. So I drafted a bill on being able to transfer ADHD meds from one pharmacy to another. Not the meds, the prescription, I'm sorry. Yeah. So that if CVS doesn't have it in, they can transfer it to Rite Aid, fill that prescription. So you don't have to call your doctor and go, hey, I need you to go call this pharmacy right now. It's in right now. It's in right now to get that meds.
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's something super, and the amount of people who walk up to me and go, thank you so much for that bill. Like,
I didn't even, I wouldn't think you wouldn't be allowed to do that.
Right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So when you drafted the bill, like how does that even, how does that start? Do you get a pen on paper?
Oh, no, we have people to do
Okay.
that. They don't trust us to do that. No, no, no.
Don't let Andrea write.
No, there's staff in the State House, OLS, Office of Legislative Services, which is between both partisan sides. They're nonpartisan staff.
Oh, really?
And they draft the bills.
Oh, that is very interesting.
Yeah, and so there's experts and lawyers and policy people to help draft it. And then we have the final say. We can go back and forth, but it's those folks who really do the legwork there for us.
Oh, that's
Wow.
cool. And
So-
then
Yeah.
you kind of edit, revise,
Yep.
etc.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
Wow, I'm learning so much about this. That this is cool. But
Yeah.
so you were super passionate about that. What do you guys got going on right now that you're like, gets you really fired up?
Well, mental health access, making sure that people have what they need. I think looking out at these fields, making sure people have the food that they need to eat, because if you don't have the food in your belly, you're not able to do the other things. But mental health is something that's really, really important to me, and making sure that people have access to those services and those resources.
Absolutely. One of the things we do here on the farm with like field trips, getting kids out here on the farm, we have a lot of kids come from all different aspects of life, and we see how like it affects them positively. And getting out here, speaking to mental
time.
health, Chris and I and my dad, we rack our brains all the time of like, how can we get more kids out onto the farm through field trips and stuff like that. So, if there's anything you guys can do, a lot of it, they struggle with cost of busing and stuff like that. I think it would be really cool to figure out a way, to team up, or, schools get some help with the busing, just to get more kids out onto the farm, to get connected where their food comes from.
Yeah, busing costs have been one of the major struggles for a lot of schools, a lot of clubs, a lot of programs. And yeah, like Gil said, when you have kids who come out and, we have all our potatoes here and they get to dig in the ground and they get dirty hands and they come up with a bunch of potatoes. And it's an experience that is unique and is different, actually pulling food out of the ground or off the vine.
Seeing where it actually comes
Yeah.
from.
Oh yeah, it's a special
That's
experience.
one of like probably one of our greatest passions here at what we do, is like sharing the farm. My grandma, when she first, had this crazy idea of letting customers come out onto the farm, my grandpa thought she was crazy.
She was right.
Like what?
Just want to make sure that we all document
We've been trying to kick people off the farm all these years. Why are we inviting them out here now? But it was like, to get people like reconnected with the farm, even, decades ago. And I think right now it's like more important than ever. Like what you were saying about mental health, like it's really all connected. Getting people, to put their phones down, to get off social media, and to get out and get in the dirt and dig up a potato.
Yeah.
Because some people think potatoes grow on trees.
Oh yeah. And I know you've passed legislation regarding social media, and kind of tied into that. We do a summer camp here, and we do no screens whatsoever, and it's all about just kind of being in the earth, in the dirt. We got kids going home with dirt all over the place.
You can come.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you should. It's great. But yeah, I always struggle with the social media aspect, because we obviously use it as a business. I kind of oversee the YouTube. We're obviously doing it here now. But what's what do you view as kind of the positives and the negatives of social media, and how do you see that kind of influencing, kids especially?
It's a great tool for sharing information.
Absolutely.
It's a great tool for connecting people. During the pandemic, what would we have done without that social connection? But there are a lot of negatives. I worked on some bills around disordered eating and social media content. I got to work with Miss New Jersey. We had drafted the bills, and I got a call from Miss New Jersey who said that was her issue that she wanted to help and deal with through her advocacy. And I was like, well, cool. Nobody knows what an assemblywoman is, but they sure as heck know who Miss New Jersey is, so let's go. But being able to handle those issues that we're seeing for our kids. Our kids are seeing, I looked at, you guys are a little bit younger than me, but like I would have Teen Beat magazine, and then I could put it down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now kids see on their phones nonstop.
Oh yeah.
And the pressure that it puts on them. Like when we had a bad day, we'd go ride our bikes and or I wouldn't know that you were out with him, and because I didn't see pictures of it. We see it now. It is in everybody's face. But I think taking those breaks and coming out and being outside, being in the fresh air, in the sun,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It's good for your health. Like I went to Girl Scout camp at Camp Kettle Run in Medford. I'm pointing like it's right there. Right there.
Not too far. Yeah.
But picking those fresh blueberries on the way to and from the dining hall in the mornings, like that's.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
and that's one of the things where we're always trying to get people out on the farm in the dirt, and it makes such a. It's a game changer.
Yeah.
And it's in regards to like social media and being a parent. I mean, my kids are young. My oldest is about to be 4, but it is something like on the back of my mind. And, it's funny, just these things you think about when you become a parent and how being a parent affects every decision you make.
Oh, yeah.
Everything.
I mean, do you want to talk a little bit about that? Being a parent, being in politics. Your kids have to be on the back of your mind almost.
Constantly.
Constantly. In that.
But they're why I do it. Like, I see a problem and I want to fix it. I want every kid to have great opportunities. I want every kid to have the opportunities that my kids had. When I grew up, I was an at-risk kid. My mother lived with addiction and mental health issues, and I relied a lot on my other family to make sure that I was okay. But my kids are why I do everything.
Mm-hmm.
I want every kid to have the opportunities that my kids have. I'm not just going in and making sure that my kids get something. If there's something missing from my kids' education, it's probably missing from everybody else's education. So now let's have a conversation about that policy. Let's have a conversation about why I was told by my daughter's IEP team that she wouldn't get services in advanced classes despite her learning disabilities. Well, okay, I know the law. I can fight that, but I want to make sure that every kid who comes in that room after, every parent who comes in that room after, who maybe doesn't understand bureaucratic systems like I do, that they're also going to have the opportunity to get those services for their kid. So it's just make sure that everybody has those services. I think my kids keep me on the ball on it.
Oh, man. Always at the back of the mind.
Yeah.
And they also like to make sure that I don't get an ego ever.
Yeah,
like I walk
they're
in.
Good at that.
Oh yeah, they are. I walk in and everybody's been like, "Oh, Assemblywoman, let me get you this. Assemblywoman, let me get you that." And my kids are like, "Mom, go get me this and leave me alone."
Oh, how our kids humble us.
That's
so
what kids are
quickly.
for.
My middle one, Finn, he's 2.5. He just yells at us all the time now.
Oh,
I'm like, Finn, can we just talk, dude? No, give me milk.
Yeah.
I want milk.
Hey, please?
Yeah.
And you're like, no.
Yeah.
It doesn't change when they become teenagers.
No.
I hate to break it
They
to you
definitely
guys.
keep. Oh man, I know. My oldest is 8, and I'm trying to push it off for as long
worse.
as possible.
Yeah.
It just gets worse and
No.
worse. I'm sorry.
tell me
I'm
that.
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
My parents say the worries get more intense.
Yes.
Like your kid may not keep you up at night from crying. Your worries will keep you up at night.
Yeah.
Then they're out driving.
Yeah.
Or they're going
Oh
to
man,
college.
I can't imagine that. Oh.
It's not fun.
So
Yeah.
talk us through like these next couple months. So election, when is that?
November 4th in
November
110 days. Not that I'm counting.
Yeah. So what's your plan for these next 110 days? How do you campaign, all that jazz?
I talked to a lot of people in 2023. So I was the first Democrat elected in the 8th legislative district in over 50 years. Like I said earlier, my town was put into the district through the last redistricting process, which made the district not as friendly for Democrats. So I really take a lot of pride in that. That was when I popped through, that people voted for me from across the aisle, just like that first time in 2016. The same thing happened here, and I'm very, very, very proud of that. But I'm currently the only Democrat elected, which is fine for day-to-day working, and we work together. But campaigns are campaigns, that's how it goes. Like, this is our job, is to go out and make sure that folks have the information they need to make a choice. That's what started me in my first race. That's why I'm running for this again. So it's just going to be very, very busy. In 23, my running mate and I knocked 11,930 doors combined. That's not campaign staff. It's just
you.
the two of us. So it's just going to be a lot of constantly talking to people, because how do you talk to, we can put out podcasts, we can send out mailers, we can do calls, but showing up and having that conversation.
Oh yeah. And that's what I really appreciate about what you do. Because, like you said, it's so easy to just, click upload on a video. It's so easy to send out thousands of letters, right? But you're actually physically knocking on doors Like how many a day? Like what's the most you've done in a day?
Well, a bunch. It depends. Well, when the weather's this hot, like
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I kind of got to pace
Yeah,
myself
I don't blame
until.
you.
So once the weather breaks,
Do you have like aid stations along the way?
No, I mean,
Like you're
Is
running a
Patrick
marathon? Yeah,
Patrick
Patrick.
in there for some ice sparkling water
Yeah.
with a lemon
He,
wedge.
he's got a cool rag that he
I
puts
could
over
really
you.
use that if we could start doing that. I've joked maybe I'm gonna get like wheelie sneakers and he can pull me around.
Oh, they're hip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that,
that
would
would
be
be-
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could just jog and pull Andrea.
So you, because this is blowing my mind. Another thing that's blowing my mind with this that I didn't think people did that anymore. I didn't think people knock on doors in general. So
no.
you see this house, you knock on the door. What do you say?
Hi. Well, if they have a no soliciting sign, I do not knock. So
Mhm.
if you have a no
You just
soliciting
walk right in.
No. Well, hey, I'm Andrea. I want to see what was for dinner tonight.
What's in the fridge?
No, we just leave the lit in the door for those houses. But I knock on the door and I say, my name is Andrea and I'm your assemblywoman. And sometimes I get that look, yeah, like what's an assemblywoman and, the state version of the House. But I'm just here to ask your thoughts. Wanted to remind you there's an election in November and see what I can do. If you have any concerns you want to talk about, is there something that's keeping you up at night? That's a question.
And
a lot
do
of people
you
respond.
get people who are like, "Oh yes," and they're like, "Bam!"
Yes.
Like hit the ground running.
I-
I've been waiting for you to knock on my door, Andrea.
Yeah, some people have, and they're like, I have a whole list. And that's why I'm always out with the staff members so that we can take notes in case there's, sometimes now
Yep.
people have constituent issues. They're like, well, this is happening in my life. Okay, great. How can I be of help? But if they have a concern, I want to know what it is. I
Yeah.
want people to take that time. Like, I'd rather somebody do that than just take the lit and move on and forget about
Yeah.
me. That's why I'm there, to have the conversation.
And this is why you take that approach because you click upload on a video and you don't, you get likes
There's
and
none
you
of the
get
back
thumbs
and
ups,
forth.
but
Yeah.
you're never gonna get the on the ground.
No.
Here's what I'm actually experiencing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will, even when I'm out, 'cause, we have lists looking for voters who are likely to vote. But if I see somebody on the street, I'm absolutely handing them the literature and talking to them and introducing myself. Because if you see some crazy lady walking around like looking for certain houses in your neighborhood, you're gonna have some questions. So at least I can do is say like I'm a normal brand of crazy. Like I'm definitely crazy for what I do, but it's a good kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And here's my literature.
That's because sometimes I feel like the feedback loops stay open on things, and in business and government,
Yeah.
you do things, you supply some product, you supply some service, but then, you never close the feedback loop on it coming back. So and you found that's really the best way to do it, right?
It's the best honest way to get people's answers. So
Yeah.
if somebody's at a door, I really want people to know that when I show up at their door, I want them to share, even if it's just, I hate everything and this is all crap and whatever, or tell me things are great, whatever it is, just tell me so that
Yeah.
I know. And then that's my marching orders. They're
Yeah.
my bosses.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how I go and check in with them.
Yeah,
It keeps me
that's-
busy this time
So
of year.
what
I'm
is
sure.
what is there one thing that like you're hearing from mainly that people are not happy about, or is it just a whole array of all over the board?
Affordability. People
Yeah.
are worried about trying to make ends meet.
Yeah.
Worried about buying food and paying their electric bills and getting their prescriptions, all of the things. It's just everything is becoming increasingly more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And how are they supposed to make those ends meet?
Yeah.
That's incumbent upon us. Now we got to go find some legislative solutions. Utility bills are going through the roof.
Mm.
I think there's a lot that we can do to increase supply. I was in a solar field in Southampton earlier this week. I don't know. I don't. Day is today.
Time doesn't exist.
It really doesn't. But I know that November 4th is in 110 days. I know that. And looking at that solar field and how it is dirt, like in water can go through that, but we can also generate energy. Talking with Dave Specca, who did a lot of the work around the agrivoltaics.
Yeah.
Am I saying? Did I say it correctly?
I don't know the term, but
I
that's
think there's
like
an R that floats around in there, and I never know if I got it
around
right.
solar. What
Yes.
grows good around solar?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different stuff they're trying
And
because
animals.
yeah, like you're saying, with the
pastures.
cost of energy going up, solar doesn't ruin the ground. You
Yeah.
could put a whole solar farm here and rip it out and start farming the next day.
Mhm.
And
So-
also, that's revenue for farmers. That if you can put those solar panels out on your fields, that's an alternate stream of revenue for a business where, we just talked about how we need to preserve our farmer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, affordability is a big thing. For me, I think there's like, and I think it's pretty common in our generation, Chris, like, kids, we have younger kids. There's like this anxiety around where's everything going? The news is so dramatic, it's so negative, and I don't watch the news really. I stay informed, I read stuff, but I can't watch it. It's like, it's crazy. So what would you say to people like in my position that are a little anxious towards the government? Like, there's some trust issues some people have. What would you say to them about that?
Get involved. Get involved, because the government is of the people and for the people, right? Like, what makes me so special to be an assemblywoman? I just did it.
Yeah.
I just went out and started doing it. Government is who we elect. So get involved. Speak up. Go to meetings. Call your legislator. A couple years ago in my advocacy capacity, I was at a round table, and somebody asked another legislator, well, if you knew this was a problem, why didn't you solve it sooner? And he said, well, do you know how many problems we have that come before us on a day-to-day basis? I need you to tell me it's a priority. And so a lot of things we can look at and realize and recognize, yes, affordability needs to be a priority, making sure that you can have revenue on your farm. That's important. But a lot of things on a day-to-day life, we need you to tell us. There's a lot of folks that are saying the Democrats should be louder and should be doing this. And I said, well, aren't you a Democrat too who's complaining about that? Well, maybe not here, but certain who are coming to me. No, we are responsive to you too. So don't take that anxiety and bottle it down. Let it go out. Talk. Go out and knock some doors.
What would you say? What is the best way to communicate, to talk? Would it be a letter? Would it be
call the office? Send an email. Whatever method works for somebody. We get that. In my advocacy capacity, I was calling the governor's constituent line on a very regular basis. Government is accessible. All of our hearings in the State House are streamed online. They're archived, and it's open to the public.
Yeah.
So if there is a bill that somebody sees that they don't like, go and testify. Or even if you do like it, go testify. Yeah. Somebody has an idea for a bill, call me.
You can, like, as a regular person, you can just go there and say, I want to talk.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And I think, that's why I think it's important, too, because sometimes, even state government in Trenton does feel far away. Federal government feels far away. But I think it's important that, you come out here and you talk about this stuff to make it feel closer. And you go out and you knock on doors to make it feel closer.
Yeah. It's democracy.
Yeah. I mean, the way you said government is of the people, for the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we hear that a lot, but we don't really necessarily think about what that means.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, what you said right there kind of lowered my anxiety levels. So I gotta.
Gil
well,
will be able to
come on me. So
Gil will be able to sleep tonight.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start calling Patrick more often.
You should. Yeah. You should absolutely. But democracy, it's not a spectator sport. It's meant to be involved. We need to participate. Everybody needs to participate. And I know that my skill set, that special, that's what did I say? The superpower. The superpower is talking to people. It wasn't sitting in a classroom with kids, but it's talking to people. And so I go out and I tell people at doors, this is what I do. I can go and be your voice. I know a lot of people don't want to do that. I do.
Yeah.
So let me go do that for you, but also tell me what I need to say because I need to be your representative.
Yeah.
Tell me who to yell at.
I appreciate you doing that. No, what you do is really cool, and it's cool. The different ways you can affect people's lives and people of all walks of life, all over the state. It's a big responsibility you have on your shoulders, but I think you're handling it pretty well.
And I appreciate,
and it looks like you're enjoying it too.
I do.
Which is crazy because I think some politicians are like, "Why the heck did I do this?"
Oh, I think that too sometimes.
Well, I was gonna say I appreciate that you view it as a burden of representation of the constituents, which is what I think shouldn't be a cakewalk.
No, this should not be easy. Government was not meant to be easy. Passing a law is not meant to be easy. It's supposed to be hard. You just have to put the work in.
Because what do they say? Well, like the best compromise is when everyone leaves the table not happy, unhappy.
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard that one.
Yeah,
I like that.
Someone told me that one time.
That happens in my family a lot.
So you guys are doing great. You're doing great. I hope your wife is so happy.
Talk about superpowers. Chris's wife, my sister, she could definitely handle a classroom full of kids.
Oh, she's
God
great.
bless
She
her.
was just out at farm camp today with a bunch of bugs, showing all the kids at lunch. with bugs.
It's
fun.
Yeah, my wife was a teacher too, and
I was
that's
a
her
teacher
superpower.
for 10 years.
She goes out to dinner with her friends, leaves me with our boys for like an hour and a half, and she comes back and she's like, "You look really stressed." I'm like,
Yeah.
They were good. They were
These
fine,
kids are
but I'm like,
crazy.
"Oh my gosh, how do you do this all day?"
Wait till they're teenagers.
Yeah.
no. Kids
But
are great.
yeah. Anything else you want people to know about you,
No.
about your campaign, about what you do?
Follow us on socials, because I think seeing what we do, like we try to document as
Mhm.
much as possible, and just I want people to know I'm a real person.
Yeah.
I'm just a normal, and I don't change
And what platforms are you on? Social platforms.
all of them.
Everything.
I
Instagram,
think all
Facebook.
of them.
Yeah,
All
we'll
over
link
the
them to
place.
the
Yeah.
description.
Cool.
Yeah, but I
But,
want people to see who I am, that I'm more than just that name on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm that mom. I'm that loud one that you hear before you see them in a room, But I'm a real authentic human
yes,
being.
I
Just
would
trying to
say
represent-
we got the full authentic dose of Andrea Katz
I
here
love it.
today.
Yeah.
I've been around you a couple times, and you are what you portray. But
we really appreciate you
but
coming
yeah,
out.
thanks for
Thank
coming
guys.
out.
Thank
Big
you.
time.
Thanks for everything you do.
Yeah, we'll end it with a little
Patrick,
dance
come on,
too.
Patrick.
Come on,
Get
Pat.
out here. Come on.
Come on,
You-
you have
Ladies and
to.
gentlemen,
Pat, you get a solo.
if you call Andrea's office, this is who you're gonna get.
Yeah.
A little bit closer.
You
gotta get in here,
You gotta
Patrick.
move your feet, Pat.
Oh, he can't hear the music.
Oh, here.
Oh, this is even better.
and
Dance
he
without headphones.
he wears sunglasses even when he's inside. Everybody.
Yeah. All right, take a bow, Pat. You were the star of this one.
All right, that's
Couldn't-
it.
I couldn't do it without you, Patrick.
Oh,
Thank
should we
you.
do our sign off?
Oh, yeah.
I'm Farmer Gil.
And I'm Farmer Chris.
And thanks for tuning in to Johnson's Corner
Farmcast with Andrea Katz.
your headphones are all jacked up.
See ya.
That's a wrap.